Good morning. 5:50 a.m. Texas time. Mm, Actually, I've been up since 4. Went to bed early. Usually my bladder alarm, about 5 hours most tops. Even though I'm dehydrated. Some guy last night was going like, "Man, you're." Actually, let me start by saying that before I went to bed, I knew the attack was underway. Somebody had made a claim against one of my videos. It was taken down briefly. I assumed that it was some sort of either industry type or some vegan or some shit like that. Is probably a vegan, and probably complained that I was spreading misinformation, which was real big during the COVID years. But that COVID uh, uh, is over. It, they're getting things corrected, uh, and my video is back up within like 20 minutes or something. So I knew there'd be a surge, and when I woke up at 4, yeah, there it was. It's kind of hard because they're all over the place. One of the most amusing comments, the guy starts off with this rant and kind of alliterative at that. You homophobic. That's what they call the useful idiots for the far left. Because a lot of the people that are doing me now, they are real fans and they are not pro criminal. The far left, they are pro crime. I mean, look at our cities. They have, gosh, you use terms that are like not real, like empath. Hobophobic is actually not an irrational. It's not even a fear. It's a very rational caution about people who ride the rails, like Angel Matorino Resendes, who you know murdered 23 people, and a lot of them were little old ladies that he would rape their dead bodies until because he had all the time in the world after he killed some old widow woman, and he had the whole fridge to clean out, any valuables. That's what kept him on the rails between Mexico and Texas, and for a long time he was, you know, everybody was watching the rails. We was ready to shoot anybody who met the general description of what they thought he looked like, and so on. And because do you really want somebody hopping off a freight train and in some little village and like murdering and raping your 80-year-old mother or grandmother? Come on. In regards to homophobia, I really nothing irrational about that. God actually forgives. I already told this stuff before, and I'm just feeding into your. See, what y'all don't get is that there's no such thing as bad uh, press. Your attack on me has upped my total number of impressions to 500,000 people. See, that's the key thing is of the 500,000 that view and of those that I actually got watch and stuff like that. Eventually, people will come along that I'm compatible with, and you bully type people, it's like that's what you are. You always been. You don't like me telling stories about how I, with a dull knife, stabbed a bully when I was somewhere 30 something months old. I was a pretty sharp little kid. You don't like it that I don't, you know, it, indulge your Walter Mitty romantic life of schizophrenic, wandering, aimless, no real, well, I just want to go here, I want to go there. That just reminds me of the woman yesterday, girl. I'm not going to call her. She just kind of kept moving and spinning, and it was like just like a acrobat walking on a what's it called again? The beam, high beam, something. Well, that's a car term anyway. I've been kind of just sitting around because I'm rested. Don't really feel like coffee yet. That's one of the standard diagnostics is uh, you'll have a doctor go, if you come in complaining, looking, drug seeking, and stuff like that, he'll ask you, or you're complaining about insomnia, I should say. He goes, when you do sleep, when you wake up or whatever, do you feel rested? And he's not checking to see if you, or he's checking to see for depression. Because when you're depressed, you can sleep forever and not wake up rested. These little tiny minds that were attacking during the night, good luck. Even on like my first channel, I only ever got one strike for some kind of alleged uh, homophobic remark. And then they promptly said, well, we're forgiving all first strikes now. So actually on 3 channels, I've said whatever the hell I want to, sometimes drunkenly, angrily, but I have a tendency towards telling the truth. It's kind of hard to disprove me because there's an AI there that'll tell you that maybe the AI has read the history of murder and sees that, yeah, there was a biblical reason for certain, like stoning people to death. Maybe you should read the history of murder. It's literally, that's one book, that's the exact title, The History of Murder. And he keeps hinting at them every time. It's kind of these wandering, and frequently these kind of wandering people, and they, let's say they're not heteronormative. Okay? Okay? That's a passive aggressive thing. Okay. Before I go, I was going to do a whole separate video on, this is your bonus round, on some of my language pet peeves. I noticed about 20, around 25 years ago, between the Valley Girl up talking where they have an upward inflection. I can't do them. I'm sorry. There's something, so that's the whole idea, is to irritate. Irritation triggers orientation response and keeps people, you know, listening when they wouldn't ordinarily be listening. Valley Girl. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my cigarette butt into an area where, okay. Man, it's at least 20 years ago. I noticed that academics who are supposed to be trained or be good speakers would begin every statement with so, 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 and it's so annoying. It really is. Haven't y'all noticed that? Uh, a great part of genius is pattern recognition. There's an old saying, the devil is in the details, but so is genius. Paying attention to detail, being perspicacious. So, and the other was like when the passive aggressive phrase came originally out of California, people would make a statement that you probably disagree with, and they would go, okay, okay, which means either agree with me or we've got an argument here. Especially what happens if you get into their vehicle where they're in total control and you're going 80 miles an hour. People have some rather bizarre patterns that I watch very closely, and I knew there would be a shit ton of notifications this morning, and I wholeheartedly agree with. There's really, for those of you who really like hearing your phone ding when you have email, Sleepless in Seattle, that's tells about the psychology of lonely people. And actually, the other day I was getting so many notifications, I just had to shut it off. Ding, 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 ding. Emails coming in from YouTube. You know, you people are just so, you don't realize that they're intelligent people like me. There's a guy who had a fairly good understanding of, like, reward chemistry. I've mentioned him before in some other video. It was like neuro something.com. He made big money reconfiguring like the notification process for Facebook, because Facebook started off doing that immediate ding, 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 instantaneous. And no, they learned it was actually you get a bigger rush. I'm not sure if it's linked to endorphins or whether it's linked to the molecule of bliss. That's what anandamide means. That's the generic term for the endocannabinoids. I'm thinking it's more towards, it gets you high. It makes you feel like, oh, everybody loves me and stuff. And you think by taking your love away from me, by you're not admiring me, or you're giving me a ding and then telling me fuck you. A lot of people, they still like that. Oh, they're blowing up my phone. Familiar with that phrase? You see the genius in my observation here? People used to give out their phone numbers, bitches, complete hoes, and drama queens and shit. Well, go out and please, I'm going to go long here. I had this couple that was really bugging me when I first came to Austin. And she was like this rich girl from Houston. I saw the pictures of her house and stuff. That she was all, and when she was young, she even had the body art, which she realized now is not, at age 30. And she had a young boyfriend that's working here locally for Google and stuff. And they were a couple of turd bags, really. She was a former cokehead that was going to meth, and he was. And one day after she had really caused me some, really was uh, one after one night and shit, and he pulled up and so I went over to let him know. I thought I was being, I was told him his wife was out looking for meth. She was hiding her meth usage. I don't think he was even. He obviously has to for Google. And he just wasn't very responsive, and he was playing with his phone, and my phone started dinging. And I said, well, that's not really it. And I went down, and when I analyzed it, it was actually him forwarding text messages his wife, girlfriend, or whatever had sent to him. He was going through them. He had a regular routine to do this to people who are connected to her. And he was trying to give me the impression that he had, uh, told, this is that Jerry Springer shit that you guys, that you hobo, that's okay. That's the title. Hobophobia. What was that gay ass? Didn't Queen have some kind of philia thing? Except it was kind of in a good way, or they had a song or something philia or album. And he was actually trying to make it look like until I, you know, because it would still show her number and forwarded, and you know, that's that's why I stopped cooking for you. Because she used to, I mean, she used to lavish. She used to cook for me or pretend to cook for me. You know, you can get fine food by, and it looks totally, and so I'm really very much well aware of human behavior. If you think I'm not, you're sadly mistaken. I knew last night when somebody who was probably a vegan or probably somebody part of the Frankenfoods industry was trying to flag me for misinformation, and AI went over it thoroughly, and I was back in 20 minutes. Uh, I've only ever had really one video deleted, and my video count's got to be. There's no way I've done like 249 videos. I've been pumping out a lot lately, and yeah, in this past month of, see, I don't get it. That you want to look at the proof that there's no such thing as bad press. Me talking about Hobo in a calm, dispassionate way about the fact that he's a liar and a fake and generally, a habitual criminal is what he is. Just look at his numbers. His numbers have gone up by 25,000 subscribers, all rushing to help little poor Hobo. While they shit talk a guy with one arm and in a wheelchair, they're this able-bodied hobo, habitual criminal fucker. They're actually defending, somebody's. He's been the one out there trying to pump up the volume. He knows how to work the, the sadomasochistic, latently homosexual. Some guy comes on and goes, Stubby wasn't gay. I knew him and stuff like that. Oh, well, I'm sorry, but this is all I need to know about Stubby right here. You see, you can be gay and not know it. It's called being latently homosexual. You know what I'm saying, girlfriend? You know, a lot of people are gay and, you know, they don't know it. That's why you have the term latent. It's there lying there. I'm sorry. I don't do that, and it's difficult, for me to do that. I'm never, uh, anyway, can't believe I've been talking for 17 minutes, but it's getting me more in the mood for a morning coffee, and shit, I'm in the fart sack right now. Isn't that a lovely color? Nice little gal gave this to me, and she was kind of playing. She goes, "What does oversized mean?" Or I think she didn't use it because she didn't like the word oversized. And I politely was trying to control, because she was a little thick, is the ghetto term. They Some people consider me thick because I'm big, barrel chested. I'm very definitely. I ain't thick in the butt though. I'm still got a square man's butt, but I got a big old chest, and my chest has always been 10 inches bigger than my waist. My whole life, I've never always been height weight proportionate, and I had to politely go, well, it means it's built for somebody. It's made for somebody like me, and me being taller, and it's 80 inches long, and when folded it's 40 inches wide, so still 80 by 80. You people keep trying to think you're gonna like break me down when I'm not. Everything I've said is true. I mean, I was in Sports Illustrated, which is a global publication, if you don't know it, or it used to be. They had offices in various countries, and it's, people are fans or and they're overseas, they have their subscriptions forwarded. It's global. Actually, even Dave Campbell's Texas football is considered like one of the Bibles of football. Shit, I was in that by the time I was 14 and 15, and so see, the problem is that y'all are attacking somebody who is in the history books, and the only place that hobo appears is on YouTube and in the police crime log books for habitual criminal. Oh yeah, medical detox. How much time did I spend in rehab? Oh wait, it was a physical rehab because I was all busted up. That's what he spent time in detox. That's where they give you like this really bad drugs. They'll even give you Klonopin, and because that's what you want. A real addict likes feeling sick all the time. That's my professional please bear in mind when I say professional, I've been paid to do the things I'm talking about. Have you? Nope. You're lucky to make minimum wage flipping burgers and enjoying a few points, because I know some of that criticism. One guy said nutter, so I'm figuring that was actually that still would have been early morning drinker in England and stuff. It doesn't matter. I've run 21 minutes. Time to upload. I'm too well rested to go back to sleep, and it's time for me to start putting on them fine fitting Avis tennis shoes, which I'm going to be looking for another pair. They had another one at the time. I was wondering, that's the problem with shoes. They'll make a style, it'll be limited. There's only, and when you got really big feet, it's hard finding shoes. And I don't trust the online ordering. Had too many problems. Well, I really don't want to get out of this nice warm fart sack, man. Oh man. Yeah, I really don't want to listen to idiots on YouTube talking about the other idiots that are trying to kill people that really have been nice to them. The Israelis were real nice to all them refugees they took in. And shit, now them same refugees is biting their hands. What? Anyway, I didn't even really finish. I'm kind of, see, I'm at that point where I'm an old man. I don't really give a fuck what the other people think. If I feel like farting, I'll just cut it. And if anybody says anything, I go, what, dear? Do that kind of dementia shit. What, dear? What? Please, that's one of the reasons I had to get out of rehab was a lot of those people in there were stroked out and they wanted me to like play with them in the morning. I was going, fuck no, let's get on with I got to get my shoulder. They wanted me to do those to be, they just was kind of in a way using me to entertain wealthy, because actually the place I was at is low rated, but the grounds and everything are nice. And most of the people there were private pay, what's called this, which they means they not only take their insurance, they also ask for extra cash on top of that. So, and they can pay it. There's a lot of rich folks there. Actually, about a third of them was Jews. West Oaks Rehab and Skilled Nursing Facility, 3200 Slaughter Lane, Austin, Texas. That's a nice looking property. It's sitting on a separate, I'd say, shit, might be up to a square mile. A full section. Anyway, hang in there. Let me get some coffee in me. I don't know if I'll be very productive today. I don't like talking about the hobo shit all the time, but I think I am going to title this one Hobophobia, because I don't have hobophobia. I have I'm a hobo. I'm sorry, that was a true Freudian slip, because The person took the manipulative, passive aggressive, or well, actually, it's a totally aggressive phrase. You're homophobic. That's what was being used the night that I was robbed and attempted murder by a couple of gay black dudes. So there is no such thing as an irrational. We're certainly fearful for their own safety. And, how many times has a hobo body that doesn't really make the press caused the derailment? The time I ran into and talked to a guy was just one of two guys that are in constant employment in the state of Texas. He says there was one roughly almost every day. It's maybe like every 30 hours or so. It's the train don't necessarily fall over and stuff like that. Sometimes they do, and he's had the big cranes and the crews, and I was thinking it was him and one other guy that was handling 300 derailments. That's where the wheels leave the track and shit. Every day in Texas. What causes them to derail? Hobos out there jacking around, being hobos running over a hobo or so. They got no family, got nobody. The local press wants to stop reporting about shit like that after a while. It's not good for the rail business. I can't believe because usually if I'm talking about something that just kind of rambling about something that's still of interest of me. I'm not boring me yet, but I think I'm there now. So, hobophobia, or I should say, hobophobia. I'm sorry, I'm showing too much teeth. Hobophobia.